Yes, good morning, children. Yesterday we went up the class up to the executive part. So now today I am going to start about the Attorney General of India. Are you all ready? Yes, Attorney General. He is the supreme power which possesses in the executive part. The present Attorney General of our country is K.K. Ram Gopal. The Constitution, Article 76 has provided for the office of the Attorney General, and he is the highest law officer in the country. Okay, that is, he is the supreme power possessing in the country regarding the law, and he is also appointed by the President, and he must be a person who is qualified to be appointed the judge of the Supreme Court, and he holds the office during the pleasure of the President. So he is not a man of person to be impeached or removal from his post. Till he is satisfied with the work by a President, he can hold the office. This means that he may be removed by the President at any time. So if he is not satisfying the President, he can be removed from his post. He may also quit his office by submitting his resignation. Suppose if he don't want to continue his post, he can give a resignation letter to the President and he may quit from the post. Now the next topic is judiciary. So judiciary is the third arm of government. And now, before going to the judiciary, we can see the functions of the Attorney General. And Attorney General function, like other posts, he is also having. And to give the advice to the Government of India upon such a legal matter which are referred to him by the President. If there is any controversies regarding the legal matter, he can give advice to the government. And Attorney General of India has the right of audience in all court in the territory of India. So we know that we have a Supreme Court in India and High Court in all the states. So to the audience in all the court, he can give the his suggestions. And further, he has the right to speak and to take part in the proceeding of both the houses of the parliament. That is, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha are the two houses of the parliament. When they sit in a joint meeting or any single meeting conducted by the parliament, he may be the member but without right to vote. So he has the right to speak, but he is not eligible for voting. And next topic is about judiciary. Judiciary, that is the third organ, and it is the third organ of the government. It plays a vital role, that is an important role in protecting the rights and the freedom of the citizen, and it also plays an important role in analyzing and interpreting the provisions of laws and constitution. And it is the power that a court of law exercises to carry out the judgment and enforce laws. And Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal in India. That it is the topmost court in our country. Any citizen can move. That is, the Supreme Court is the guardian of the Constitution. And why we call it as the guardian of the Constitution? And any citizen can move to the Supreme Court if his fundamental rights are violated. And secondly, the Supreme Court can issue the writ for enforcement of any fundamental right, and the Supreme Court can declare that law null or void if it abridges the fundamental right. So in all these three cases, the Supreme Court has the power. So it is termed as the guardian of our Constitution. And an integrated judiciary means single judicial hierarchy for the whole country. The judgment or the justice given to the citizen is equal. There is no discrimination among the caste or creed in the people. And next, thirdly, we have single unified judicial system. There is a constitutional division of powers between the executive, legislature and judiciary. So it includes that we have the judicial single integrated judiciary. It plays an important role in analyzing and interpreting the necessity of the laws. So for all these reasons, Supreme Court can be considered as the guardian of the constitution. And composition of the Supreme Court. Who all constitute the Supreme Court? When the commencement of the Constitution in 1950, our Supreme Court considered 8 judges including the Chief Justice of India. But at present now in the Supreme Court, that is more than 28 or 30 judges including the Chief Justice. Okay, and next, appointment of judges. How the Supreme Court judges are appointed. The Chief Justice of Supreme Court in India is appointed by the President of India. That is, each Supreme Court we have a Chief Justice. He is appointed by the President. And next comes the qualification of the Supreme Court judges. He must be a citizen of India. In our Constitution, it is clearly mentioned that the post, whomever occupies as the President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Chief Minister, everyone, they belong to the citizen of a country. And he should have worked as a judge of a High Court for at least 5 years. Or he should have worked as an advocate of High Court for at least 10 years in the Supreme Court. He is, in the opinion of the President, a distinguished jurist. So what are the qualifications? He must be a citizen of India, and he should have worked as a judge of High Court, and he should have been worked as an advocate for 10 years, and he should be, in the opinion of the President, that he is a distinguished jurist. He must be very conscious in his work. And the Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court hold the office up to the age of 65 years. That is, they can work as a Chief Justice till the age of 65 years. The Parliament also has power to remove the judges by invoking impeachment provision. The Supreme Court has its permanent seat in the New Delhi. That is, the Parliament has the power to remove judges by impeachment. Impeachment means while they are violating the Constitution. In that case only they can be removed. Powers and functions of Supreme Court. Judicial, it has a judicial function, original function, and another. So Supreme Court is the guardian. Regarding the judicial function, it has to safeguard the Constitution. So it is main thing, it is called as Supreme Court is the guardian. And next, original jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction, what does it mean? That is, the cases which are brought directly in the first instance to the Supreme Court, they all come under the original jurisdiction. Without going to the High Court or the subordinate court, the cases which can apply to the Supreme Court, they all come under the heading of original jurisdiction, or they are called as original jurisdiction. These may be in what are the who are all can bring the original jurisdiction. Dispute between the government of India, one or more state, okay, to other country of the state and India. And second, dispute. Dispute means the differences or some local problem between two or more state in the country. If the two or more state are in problem among themselves, that can be directly brought to original jurisdiction. And next, dispute over the enforcement come under the jurisdiction of Supreme Court. The writ issued by the Supreme Court for enforcement for the fundamental. In the last chapter itself, I explained about the 5 writs. Okay, writs means all the thing.